welcome back to Cruising as Crew. My name is Lucy and today we're going to be going through all the different days that you will experience if you are working on a cruise ship. So that is embarkation day, a sea day, a port day and a tender port. So if that is of interest to you, then please keep watching. Also, please hit the subscribe button and the like button. But as for now, let's get into it. Okay, so working on a cruise ship is very, very different to working on land. So you don't have the same kind of time off as you would on land. You don't have weekends. Pretty much every day is a Monday because you are there for 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, and you are working every day. So it's not like you have your weekly routine, you have your cruise routine. So for example, I was working when I was working on P&O Oceania, we would leave Malta on Thursday, we would do a week's cruise and be back in Malta every Thursday. So the way that my week was organised is I knew Thursday was embarkation day, Friday and Wednesday were sea days and all the other days were port days, and that is how my week was organised, and I'm going to go through exactly what that means because if you are going to go and work on a cruise ship, then you're going to want to know. So the first day is embarkation day. This is essentially when the old guests get off and the new ones get on, and what I mean by that is not old in like age, I mean the guests that have just completed a cruise get off the ship, and the ones that are going to start their cruise, start their holiday, are going to get on the ship, okay? That is embarkation day because people embark on a cruise. Now, embarkation day is the busiest day of the whole entire cruise because basically you have to change everything. So for example, housekeeping have to clean every single cabin. They have to get rid of all the sheets, all the bedding, put new bedding on for the new passengers, and the same, you know, with us in the shops. I work in the shops, just FYI. We have to clean all the shops and make everything look sparkling for the new people that are going to come on and start their cruise. So everyone is super busy on embarkation day, even the new passengers, because they're busy, you know, getting all their stuff together, getting on board the ship. So embarkation day can actually be quite stressful if you let it, and it depends what your job is on board, but if you are kind of part of the hotel team, then it can be quite stressful because, as I said, you're going to make everything look amazing for the new passengers. So as this is the first day of their holiday, this is also the day that you make your first impressions. So you yourself have got to be on the ball, you've got to know what you're doing, and you've got to be looking sharp, right? So you've got to have your uniform ironed, your makeup done, and the knowledge in your head. So going out drinking the night before embarkation day isn't a good idea. Believe me, I've done it and then lived to regret it the next day, because embarkation day you want to be fresh. Most likely you will be working on embarkation day, and this is when all the guests will come on board and they will basically have a look around the ship. So for example, if you work in the spa, then you're going to be doing spa tours where you're working in the spa, but instead of doing treatments, most of embarkation day is spent showing the passengers around the spa. If you work in the shops, you're going to be in the shops, or maybe the shops will be closed, but you will still be around. So if passengers have any questions about what you sell in the shops or what you do, then you are there to answer all of their questions. Guest services is very busy on embarkation day because people have questions about their cabin and the cruise itinerary and the ports and the excursions. So yeah, embarkation day is basically when the new guests get on to start their cruise, and it is one of the busiest days on the ship. The second busiest day of the cruise is a sea day. And a sea day comes straight after embarkation day usually, because a sea day is exactly what it says. It's when the ship is at sea all day travelling from one destination to the next. Now depending on what cruises you are doing, the ship might only be at sea for one day, or you might be at sea for 3 or 4 days getting to your first destination of the cruise. If it's the first sea day, then this is going to be when all the passengers are exploring the ship, getting to know the ship, finding things that they want to do. So you are still going to be answering a lot of questions that the passengers have, and you're also probably going to be advising them on what to do in the up and coming ports. Now, everyone is working on a sea day. every crew member is working on a sea day. For all the revenue departments, sea days are when you make your money, because of course the passengers can't get off the ship, so they're going to spend all their money with you on board. So shops, spa, casino, art gallery, this is the day that you are going to make your money. So the aim for the spa is, you know, for a therapist to be fully booked on a sea day. The aim for the shops is to be really, really busy on a sea day because you want to make your money. Also, this is when all the seminars are going to take place. So for the shops, you're going to have like your jewelry seminars. The spa, you're going to have your pamper parties. I mean, if you've been on a cruise, you probably know all of this, but yeah, so you're going to have all your seminars going on. Everyone's going to be rushing around like a headless chicken because everyone's working really long hours and trying to get stuff done. So with the revenue departments, the first sea day, although it's going to be busy with people looking around and asking questions, it's probably not going to be as busy with people actually buying stuff. Like with the spa and the shops, especially the shops, people tend to buy on the last few days of the cruise. This is because obviously the first sea day, they're sussing everything out, they're deciding what they want to buy. A lot of people are kind of like, okay, well, you know, if we don't spend all our money on excursions or when we're out in port, then maybe we'll get this. And on your last sea day, that is when you are rushed off your feet, because in the shops especially, everyone is coming in and buying the things that they maybe didn't get during the cruise or something that they've had on their eye on. The spa is absolutely rammed because they have some deals on, and it's people's last chance to get a nice massage. The art gallery, basically everyone is so busy on the last sea day, and on top of helping the passengers get what they want out of the last sea day, you are also thinking about embarkation day tomorrow and the fact that you have got to prepare everything for tomorrow. So the last sea day is always a whirlwind, and it's always a very long day. But sea days are really important for cruise ships because, as I said, it's where they make their money, and for you, it's where you do kind of your hardest work. A port day. So a port day, once again, is exactly what it says. It is when the ship is in port all day. So everyone's got on an embarkation day, you've had a sea day where you're traveling to your next destination, and the port day is where the ship docks in a port. Now let's say you're going around Croatia, so maybe the ship has docked in Split. That means all the passengers are able to get off in the destination and explore. Now, depending on what you do on board, what job you have, you might still be working or you might have some time off. As I said, everyone's working on a sea day. You're not going to get time off on a sea day, but you might get time off on a port day. I work in the shops. I get most port days off because I only work in the evenings on port days. I know that the spa, if you work in the spa, you will work not every port day, but you do work on port days. However, port days, if you are at work, are very quiet because there's not many passengers on board because they're all out exploring the ports. And this is why it's so important to kind of make your money on the sea day if you're in a revenue department, because on a port day, they're all off the ship and they're not at your disposal. Port days are good for kind of maintenance, so cleaning your area, or counting stuff, doing stock checks, or I am obviously going off working in the shops because that's what I do on board, but you can do that with any department. But yeah, so port days, if you are at work, are usually a lot more relaxed because there's a lot less passengers to serve. Tender ports. So tender ports, it's a port day. It is a port day, so the ship has docked in a brand new destination, but the only thing is it hasn't docked. So for whatever reason, the ship will be unable to dock. Maybe it's bad weather or shallow waters. So what will happen, the cruise ship will drop anchor a little way off the port, and the passengers and crew members will be ferried back and forth between the ship and the port using water taxis, otherwise known as tenders, and that is why it's called a tender port. Now, tender ports are a little bit of a hassle. I've actually made a video on tender ports if you want to give that a watch, but nevertheless, if the port is worth seeing, then make the effort. And also, it might just happen that your manager has given you your time off on a tender port. So yeah, you could go out or you can stay on board. It is your choice. But if you want to know more about tender ports, as I said, give the next video a watch. So that is my very brief explanation on embarkation days, sea days, port days and tender ports. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below and I will be sure to answer them. But I do hope this has helped answer any questions. Thank you very much for watching and I will see you in the next video.